All right. This is actually kind of hard to do with one hand, not gonna lie. There we go. Close enough, right? And you need my, oh damn, okay. We're gonna do this differently. So this is the cover, yup. Try to get those off so shit don't go everywhere. So this is presumably the case, or like the top plate. Let's see what else we got. Hardware, obviously. Sticker. Gotta have the sticker, adds 5 horsepower. As we all know, this would be the filter, I would assume. Yup. All right. Charge pipe, I would assume, yup. And then this would be in all its glory, the one, the only box. Boom. So, for those that don't know, it'll be oriented basically like this. You'll have charge pipe, filter, carbon cap, and then your reinforcement strut reinforcement bar across the top. So we will be throwing this in later. This is more piping. No, it's the same pipe that I put back because I'm retarded. So yeah. So we'll get this old joint uninstalled, new one in, do some tests. It'll be fun. Basically, this is everything unpacked. So air box, lid, obviously the hardware. These risers for the brace bar in the bay actually come in the instructions, so just make sure to take those out. And then obviously a charge pipe filter. So I'm gonna cut ahead a little bit, but the box orients this way in the bay, and you see that the 3 holes there obviously correspond to the 3 holes here. So we're gonna line that up and run the included very small nut and bolt. This is a 7mm nut, and the bolt is 2.5. So yeah, need an adapter, but I just didn't have a 7mm wrench, so that's where we're at with that. But yeah, just gonna run these in, and they do have the locking little nylon in there, so they shouldn't come loose. So no need for Loctite or anything. Just get them on there relatively snug. You should be fine. One other thing I'll mention, so I have 2 of these in. You can see, make sure to use the washers on either side. There's 6 included. The other 2 bolts that they include by themselves are going to be for the IAT sensor for your intake temp. And then you have all of the quick release, like the little push locking pins that anybody with a German car is familiar with. That'll go all the way around that. So makes it nice because this is basically toolless to remove, with the exception of obviously the bar across. I would do the top corner first so you can get the alignment correct. It's easiest to line it up and do the top 2. And that'll set your alignment for the 3rd hole. It's also easiest to see those and access, the nuts on the inside. And then the 3rd one's pretty straightforward. Obviously these don't need to be super tight, just, you can kind of put them down into the washer a little bit, but you don't want to crack the carbon. So, but yeah, pretty straightforward. Just use hand tools, no impacts. So got the intake all on there. One thing that I would recommend as a tip is I would actually take the worm gear clamp and loosen it all the way and put it on the carbon fiber. This slides in way easier. I have like minimal disruption here in the actual filter. I didn't really have to push that hard. And I just sort of spun it on and try to get the bottom lip underneath first. And then you can loosen the worm gear all the way, the clamp, and slide it over, oriented how you want, and tighten it so it's easy to access for future reference. And obviously, make sure that you have the right orientation for the filter so that it actually fits. Then we'll clamp this on, and then basically all that's left is putting it in the car, doing the coupler here with those 2 clamps, and should be all set. All right, so I already pulled the bar off here, you can see, and the bar mounts one here and one right here. You can see there's anti-seize. They're both the same length, and they're both the female 14mm, like I think E-Torx or whatever, but it's this right here. I ran impact just to make it faster. Probably would torque these down to the right spec when you put them back in, because they are technically reinforcement for the for the struts. So yeah, anyway, but next up, pull your IAT sensor, pull this whole thing should lift out, and then once that's out, yeah, we can get the charge pipe off. All right, so got the factory air box out. This is covering the sensor that I already pulled for air temp. Just trying to keep it from getting messed with, so put that out of the way up there. I just pulled the 2 screws out of it because I know that the new assembly has the 2 new screws to mount it. So next is, if you can see, there's this right down here, this little clip, and essentially we're just gonna pry this off. And so just sort of get a flathead or something. I might need 2 hands for this, but that's basically, and then this will come off, and then we'll route the new deal. For the old air box, it's just 2 grommets that clip in, boom, boom, and then it's just this one clamp that you loosen. So you loosen this, kind of pop this off, and then the rest of it just lifts straight out. And it's all one giant piece. It kind of looks like the 2 pieces, the bigger air box and then like this smaller deal. It looks like they should have to come apart, but it does come out in one piece, I promise. So yeah. All right, so that clamp comes off, and you can kind of see in there, there's a little bit of oil, but nothing too crazy. And that is gonna be normal. And then yeah, this does seem to move a little bit, which kind of sketches me out. But when I look at how it's put on there, it actually makes sense that there's some play there. All right, one thing to be mindful of, this grommet has to be aligned a certain way. You can kind of see the cutout there, where it has to sit on top of that frame rail, or not frame rail rather, but yeah, basically like the seam. So I just found that it is easier ultimately to put them all in the vehicle first and then just punch the airbox into it. So, well, this is it. Finally have it installed. Yeah, we're gonna start it up and see what we're talking about. But yeah, so far, install was pretty easy. Wasn't that bad at all. So yeah, that's a wrap.